Good morning. This is Shirley from Shirley's Art Ventures showing you my vacation. I had the opportunity this year to go to Cave Country, Kentucky, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and Asheville, North Carolina. There's animals in various places. The hotel cat, two cats lived outside of our hotel. The deer, there were as many deer at Mammoth Cave. There were like 8 there. And this horse is just wandering around at this park near there. And the bear, oh my goodness, we had bear at our hotel. Turned around, the bear was right there. Like I said earlier, we were in cave country and we got to see 6 different caves, and they were fabulous. They had all the formations. They had things hanging from the ceiling, the stalactites, things growing from the ground, the stalagmites. They would meet together in the columns. Steps. Oh, the caves had steps. One cave had 700 steps, or one cave had 200 steps, one cave had 140 steps. We got to see a brand new part of the cave that was just open to the public recently because they were able to acquire the land under the cave underneath the land. Mammoth Cave was huge. It was a dry cave, so they didn't have any of the formations, but it was huge and it was very cool. They wouldn't let us go to the other parts of the cave because of the pandemic. They weren't allowing people to ride the buses to the cave. And like I said, steps and stairs, and oh, it was so much climbing. And then I bought some rocks at the caves to do some wire wrapping with the rocks. So that was pretty cool. So I'm learning how to wire wrap. And if you look in the middle of this one picture, there's the bacon ribbon that's coming out of the ceiling. And then this is a picture of a stalagmite that's been cut. It looks just like a tree. And the one cave, it went up several stories. We got to tour it twice, and they had little cave lakes in there. They were just so cool. The caves were dripping. They were wet. It was hard to wear your mask in the cave because your glasses would fog up, so you had to take your glasses off. And I could see just fine without my glasses, but my husband had a little bit of trouble there. And you look up and you could see many, many flights up, and then above the cave was like 30, 40 feet of rock in some places, more in other places. And inside one of the caves is actually living things going on because I think the lights created that. Spores would come in and moss would start to grow in the cave. And the cave in Tennessee was probably the best cave because it had a gigantic room at one end. The other end had another gigantic area with a waterfall that was so pretty, and to see the drapery of the rocks is amazing. And I even found a Cave of the Mountains brochure down there in Kentucky. The Cave Association um, work with each other. Now, then we went to Tennessee and we stayed in Gatlinburg on top of this mountain at the summit of Gatlinburg, and this is our little condo. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo. It was very cute. It overlooked, you know, trees, but if we cut the trees down, then you could see the chairlift in the background. And here's a picture of our condo from up above. We went up the ski lift, and here's a picture of our condo unit from down below. So we was definitely at the summit of Gatlinburg. We could not see into Gatlinburg from our condo, and the bears kept visiting us. One day we had 3 bears. 2 were buddies, and they didn't really like the other bear. And then we went on road trips. We went to see Cades Cove. That was recommended. It's an 11-mile loop through this town that existed like goodness 175 years ago. And you just slowly follow the cars around the loop. And then you get a brochure and it talks about the different buildings there. There's like 3 churches in there. And it was interesting. Then my cousin came over from Illinois, she and her husband, so we got to spend time with them, and we got to climb up one of the mountains in the Smoky Mountains on Cleveland's Dome. That you climb up about a half a mile, you get to the top, then you climb this structure, and you get to overlook the entire area. And that it was hard climbing. I had to sit down a few times because it was just hard climbing. I put on so many stairs climbing up these places, and you can see the Smoky Mountains. They're just, they're in the clouds. So we were above the clouds up on top of this, and just looking down is pretty sights. Just going to the top of the mountains is cool. And then we got to see the waterfalls in a couple of different parts. I have to say, driving was quite interesting because the roads were narrow, the roads are extremely curvy, and the switchbacks you couldn't see around the corners, and you just prayed that somebody big wasn't coming there. And they have a new sky bridge in Gatlinburg. You got to walk across it. In the middle, there's glass planks that you can just look down. They're building that, and this is a view from the sky bridge. Our car is in the parking lot down there, and there's another view of Gatlinburg from the sky bridge. And then look, I climbed at least 75 floors that day. It was 98 on my Fitbit, so I got this little award. And then more waterfalls. There was more waterfalls that we could have went to. We could have went to Rainbow Falls, but then somebody told me it was a really, really hard climb, and I'm like, I'm not ready for another hard climb because and I just wasn't ready for a hard climb. But here's a picture of us at one of the falls. This climb wasn't too bad. And then we did mini golf one day. We found mini golf with cows. Go figure, us from Wisconsin, we had to play mini golf with cows and the pigs. And then we were on the mountaintop. We took the tram up the mountain, and we took the ski lift to the mountaintop. And on the mountaintop, they had this bluegrass band. We also got to go to Britmore in Asheville, North Carolina. This is the biggest house in the country. And here's a cool picture of my husband taking a picture of us in the mirror. So that turned out cool. Here's the where they serve food at the Britmore. They can serve like 25 people there. They have beautiful gardens. So we got to go out and see the gardens and walk around, and they had gigantic plants, and we didn't have a whole lot of time to see the gardens because we had to get into the place. And I found Thomas there. They had a little train thing, and there was Thomas fooling around. Yeah, he's so cute. I wish you could have seen more. And then we got to go up Anakista, which is another brand new addition to Gatlinburg. Part of it's older, part of it's new. But it was kind of cool. We got to see the new stuff, and we got to have our picture taken with this funny little guy. And masks were everywhere. Social distancing was good. Even the statues were wearing masks. So it was a great trip in Gatlinburg and Asheville and Cave Country in Kentucky. We drove there. It's like a 12-hour drive. And on the way back, we didn't even stop to eat. We just kind of had cheese and sausage with us, and